Most corner to corner is made with double crochets. And you start here, and the project ends up looking like this, being oriented this way. But this is how you work, like 1, 2, 3, 4. This stitch is a really good stitch for long color changing yarn. So solid colors, and then you change color whenever you feel like you want to, or long color changing yarns make nice stripes. All right, so we're going to chain 6 to start. You chain 6, you're going to work in the 4th, 5th, and 6th chain from your hook. So these 3 chains that are skipped are going to be your chain 3 space. So in the 4th chain from the hook, you're going to do a double crochet.
You work in the bumps?
Yes.
Okay.
I always work in the bumps.
I thought you would.
And then in the 5th and 6th chain, you're also going to do a double crochet. And I'll do this again. I just want to show you what it's going to look like. Chain 6 off the top of that last double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, you're going to double crochet in the 4th, 5th, and 6th chain from your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to double crochet in that chain.
In the bumps again? Always in the bumps?
Always in the bumps.
Got it. Bumpity bump bump.
Technically, it probably doesn't matter if you don't do it in the bumps, but the bumps give you that nice flat edge that
Right.
you'll see on those edges. But if you are double crocheting and you just double crochet into those chains and that's how you're comfortable,
Yeah.
yes, do it. Obviously.
So now you have this little
Dingle dangle?
trying to be. I'm gonna be good.
Dingle
Yeah.
dangle. That's
I
what I
picked
would.
the wrong color
Well,
yarn.
yeah, I call them danglers. It's a dangler.
Or a dingle dangle.
You got 2 blocks. You got 2 blocks.
Okay.
You have to get your hook over to here. So what we're gonna do is flip block 1 up so the chain space is near where your hook is,
What?
and you're gonna slip stitch into that.
I don't do that. I turn at the end of my block and I chain 6 and work on that. And that is the only place I turn because it's already facing me. Now you can get lost if you do it that way because your dingle dangle wants to dangle down. And then you have to flip it back up. If we're using Margaret's terminology, that's how it works. But your block may want to like flop down towards you and you kind of just have to hold it up. But once you have like 3 or 4 rows on there, I feel like it works pretty well for yourself. But I can't flip it up after I do the first square or it is twisted for me because it's the way that I hold my stuff.
So do you turn every time you're at the end of the row because it's going to be twisted every time?
Yep.
Okay. So when you get here,
I turn it and hold it in my hand turned. Yes.
Okay. But it's still twisted.
Yeah, but if I wait until after I make that block, the twist is in the middle of my stitches and I can see it. No one else will ever be able to see it. I can see it.
Okay. I think it's probably like the color change thing for me.
Yes, probably.
And
no one would ever know that it's there. I know it's there. It drives me bonkers.
I will show you where I get flipped up. So if your working yarn is over here and you have to be over here, I flip up, like, I feel like if you flip it this way, it's more twisted than if you flip it that way. It's, I don't know. It's half a dozen of one and 6 of the other.
I'm gonna start a new one. I'm gonna start a new one.
I'm gonna try to turn next time and see what happens.
And see how I
So is everybody with me as far as like what you end up with these 2 little blocks. Your hook is over here. You need to be working in this chain 2 space. Obviously, you're not going to work in this chain. I'm sorry, chain 3 space. You're not going to work in this chain 3 space because then your block will be folded in half. So you flip the first one up and then slip stitch into it.
Okay.
Are you with me, Margaret?
Yep.
Carla? Okay. Once you slip stitch into that chain 3 space, you're going to chain 3. And then you're going to put 3 double crochet into this chain 3 space. And that's going to be your second block of row 2. And now you have a little heart dingle dangle. All right, now the way Courtney does it, you're going to turn your work now, right?
Yep.
Okay. That actually might be easier.
Because it puts your chain 3 is right where you need it.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the flipping stuff. Like,
I could not, I think the first video I watched, I started learning C2C like 12 years ago. And I hated it because the first video I watched, when videos became available for that stuff, we're talking about flipping. And that made no sense to me. Like, why would I flip something over? I'm turning it. So when I started realizing, like, for me, that's just a turn. It worked better for me and
yeah,
it flowed better.
it,
There are some times when you're doing stuff, when you
Sure.
learn to crochet and you're trying to figure out a new technique, if someone doesn't use the same, lingo that you're using, it makes it feel like it's much harder than it needs to be. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what flipping meant.
Do you think that they use flip because when you turn your work and you chain 6, the front of your chain is what you can see instead of the bumps, and then if you
I think so too. Yeah, I do.
you
And
kind
I
of have
think
to twist your chain.
yeah.
So
And
either
that's
way,
and what you're doing with your fingernail right there, like holding it down, that's what I do. And with the other hand, I keep that chain 3 space right at the top. I think it has to do with the way you interpret how you do corner to corner. Like when you were saying, like, you're starting in this corner and you're making 1 block, 2, 3, 4, 5, what have you. And then this is how it's configured and you kind of switched your work. I don't switch my work in my brain until it's done. So for me,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
always kind of a diamond shape. And then if I know it has to be a square when it's completely done, I shift it over. But for me in my brain, I have to work it as a diamond shape.
So is everybody with me with the little heart or the 2-step?
I'm there.
Row 1, row 2. Now we're gonna turn our work. We're gonna do it this way. So turn your work and chain 6. 3, 4, 6. And it's the same, so this is the increase block. Every time you chain 6, you're gonna work in 4, 5, and 6 of the chain with double crochets. So I'm gonna turn my chain a little bit. 1, 2, 3, and work in the back bump.
Did you turn the chain under or over to work in it?
I just turned it toward me.
Toward you. Okay.
But just be careful that when you like turn your work and you start turning your chain, that your work doesn't flip back over, because then you're gonna have to flip your work.
Wait, but that's what I mean. When you chained 6, right?
Yep.
Then you show me what you did,
All right.
please.
So
You basically just kind of need to roll your chain slightly towards you so you can find the back bumps.
But
Mm,
over, like, you roll the bump underneath, or do you roll the bump over the top?
You need to
over.
roll it towards
Okay.
you so that you can see it, because you have to work
Right.
it. So
But are you rolling it over the top or underneath?
all right, so
towards you. So over the top would be
Over the top. Okay.
make sure that when you tip your chain toward you, you're not letting go of that, because now your work is turned again and you're gonna have to flip it anyway. So
Okay.
hold that piece, and I think like right now we only have 3 little squares. It'll get easier, and I think it will hold better once we have a bigger piece. So chain 6, and you're gonna double crochet in the 4th, 5th, and 6th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. Are you guys with me?
I finally am.
See you later, Christine, I hope. And I let my work go. So once you do that third double crochet, your chain 3 space is right here, ready to be slip stitched in.
I got it.
Now that you slip stitched in your chain 3 space, we're gonna chain 3. And you're just gonna repeat. You're gonna work, now you're working back up the steps. So 3 double crochet here. Slip stitch into this chain 3 space and then 3 more double crochet. So let's do this chain space first. We're at a chain space, you're gonna put 3 double crochet in it. And this is the second block of row 3. Courtney, how you doing with that chip chop?
I have up to row 4, I think.
Oh, you do? I thought you
I just put,
abandoned
I put
it.
row 4 to desired height. Is it height? Would it be height or row count?
I
Block count?
say height and length and height, but
Okay. So
so once you have your 3 double crochet in your chain 3 space, your hook should be at your next chain 3 space. Slip stitch into that space. And then chain 3. Slip stitch into that chain 3 space, chain 3, and then put 3 double crochet into that space. You guys know how I sometimes get carried away.
What?
And so
Margaret's getting carried away.
I'll show you where it's easy to like make a mistake. So now we have 1, 2, 3 rows, 3 blocks, 3 rows. You're gonna turn your work and chain 6. All right, so we turned our work at the end, we chain 6, and you're gonna work a double crochet in the 4th, 5th, and 6th chain from the hook again. And I was hoping to get to 5. And if you have, please, if you have questions, ask them, because I very rarely have this stick the first time.
I'm getting it.
All right. So
I don't think that stuff's.
after your double crochet in the 4th, 5th, and 6th chain, you're going to be right at that chain 3 space. So you're going to slip stitch in there. All right, so we chain 3. I'm going to put 3 double crochet in the chain 3 space, and that you're going to work your way back up the steps. So there's a chain 3 space here and here. So you're going to have 3, 3, and 3. And I've always found like this, this is one of, I find that this is one of the easiest row counts to figure out like after the fact, because your double crochets are always going a different way. So these are that way, up and down, side to side, up and down. So you like, they're very easy to count. Maybe I'm wrong. No, do you?
Yeah, that makes sense. I am understanding everything today.
You're on
That's
fire,
a
Margaret.
shocker. I probably just jinxed myself.
No, don't jinx yourself. Okay. So once so this is the part where I get carried away. Like no one ever told me like once you run out of chain 3 spaces, it's time to turn around. I can't even figure out how I used to make an extra square over here now. I think I went, actually I know what I did. I'll show you. I just remembered. So now that you're at the top, I think I think I would chain 6 and then join over here somewhere. And then if you do that, you get a weird bump sticking out of your steps. And then you have nowhere to go.
I've done that.
And that's when I know, like, wait a second, I got carried away here. But if you flip it this way, you don't have to undo it. And it gets you back on the right track. See how this, you see what I mean? Like I joined to this chain 3 space over here, which already has work in it. I was supposed to chain slip stitch to this chain 3 space that doesn't have anything in it yet. And then I can work my way back up the steps or down the steps. You ready for that, Margaret?
Yes.
All right.
Making sure Margaret's caught up.
What?
It's true. She said, make sure I'm caught up. Since it is only my 2nd month crochet.
I know, and you're already
You're doing
tackling
so
the
good.
corner.
You're doing so good.
You are.
I'm working on it. Getting there.
Yes. Doing it the way Courtney does it, you're definitely not going to end up with the, you're not going to end up slip stitching it to the wrong spot because there's nowhere to slip stitch it to.
Turning
That
makes
doesn't
sense.
stop me from just making extra bricks that dangle off into nothing because I absolutely like corner to corner increasing. I don't like to decrease corner to corner and I don't like maintaining, but I will increase corner to corner all day because it's mindless to me. But that does not mean that there's not just every once in a while danglers dangling off into nothingness because I've gotten carried away because I just stopped paying attention.
It's easy. It's very easy to do that. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Like just you
Yep.
get chain 3 and 3 double crochet and that's it.
I guess.
Okay, so now my piece is 5 squares across and 5 squares up high.
Yay.